227. Hello, hashtag First TV family, and welcome. It's week. Times are changing every day. We won't give up with the same old ways. Pulling together, we'll make it right with help from our friends. I know we get by. There's no place like home. 227. Yes, I'm Aaron Mack, and I'm here with my good friend Kevin, aka CBC Basic Complexity. Now, did you used to watch 227? And who was your favorite? My favorite as a gay man was, of course, Sandra. Even as a little boy, I was into Sandra because I was like, oh, she's diva. And I didn't even know what I was doing. But anyway, did you have a favorite?
Yes, mine was same person.
Really? I was thinking that you might say somebody different. And the fact that you said her too, I'm like, okay, we were both two gay kids. Because the air date of new episodes of 227 was 1985 to 1990. And of course, it was in syndication. It's still in syndication, I believe. But 1985 to 1990s. So we were young kids. But I used to... Sandra was so diva. Anyway. All right. So are you ready for the number share program?
Let's go for it.
All right. So your first potential question after two presses for the 2 and 227 for the first two is, that's an interesting one because it means you can make it whatever you want. The question is, has it worked?
Has what worked?
That's the whole point. It's an open-ended question, whatever you want to use. Or do you want to do the next one? Well, I'll do another two.
Yeah.
1, 2. Do you have any fears?
Yes. Even though I've gotten better at it over the years, initially I started out with a huge fear of heights. I'm still not 100% cool with it, but I'm better than I was.
All right. Yeah, I'll say I live in one of those tower apartments like you. And there were people who do that thing on the scaffold where they're on the side of the building and they scale it on the outside and they're up like hundreds of feet. And I'm like, wow, that is a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were blasting their music too, but that's another story. Anyway, so, and now for my new song of the week, it's none other than 2022's Lessons by Eric Roberson, fellow Howard University Bison, Eric Roberson. And I love that song. That song was introduced to me by my barber. And well, he didn't formally introduce it to me like, Aaron, lessons, Aaron. No, but they were playing it at the barber shop. And I was like, this song, because he has some lines in that song that I love. Everyone that let me down led me to you. All the heartbreak I had led me to you. I love that song. It's one of my heavy repeats. Because that's what it's like. all of the pain and struggling and dealing with relationships that go wrong and all of that. But it's like at the end of the day, they all lead you to your one.
Mm.
I have a million more things to say, but Kevin, take it away with your older song, my friend.
All right. My older song, and this is, to me anyway, it's quite interesting. Song that is called "I Was Made to Love Her" by Stevie Wonder, and that was in 1967. Now, I definitely, what really turned me on to the song, first time I heard it, well, I guess you say sample of it, by Whitney Houston. And she she changed the song around a little bit. And the way she named the song was "I Was Made to Love Him." And that was a hidden bonus track from her, I believe, 1998 album, My Love Is Your Love. And yeah, it's not even listed on the, well, I'm showing my age, but it's not even listed on the actual CD. But if you listen to the very last track on there, then you'll hear "I Was Made to Love Him." And like I said, it's not listed, but it's definitely a bonus track. And definitely one thing I noticed in listening to the song, because one, I fell in love with her version, and did some research, and then I learned it was a remake. But the her version of the song, you could hear there were, I guess, not even background vocals, or it was somewhat assisted by Lauren Hill, and you could hear her voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, I just fell in love with that song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a great song. And I have questions that I will ask you. But if we have time, I will ask them at the end of the show. Why am I speaking so slowly and deliberately? Because I'm pulling this thing up, okay? Our show titles for the week are hashtag Rebirth Reunite.
Mm.
Subtitle Destiny's Child.
Mm.
I'm not even going to comment on anyway. Hashtag Hey Shorty, another Hey Shorty section. Subtitle hashtag advise. Hashtag videos passe. Hashtag new attitude. Hashtag dating for the subtitle. Basic complexity. Are you ready to get this show on the road, my friend?
Yeah.
And
All right.
I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Hashtag Rebirth Reunite at Crystal Luster, Billboard.com, hashtag VerseTV227A.
Now listen, I may be willing to sell pictures of my toes online to go to this concert. I don't know who I have to talk to, but I need to be in the building. Cause I'm ready for this jelly. Okay, I'm ready for it, and I need it.
Billboard.com. Here's why fans think a Destiny's Child reunion is the next act in Beyoncé's Renaissance trilogy. Should the trio reunite for Act 2 to Renaissance Act 1? By Kyle Dennis. When Beyoncé revealed the first details surrounding Renaissance in June 2022, fan theories and speculations regarding Queen Bee's future release ran rampant at the time. Beyoncé's website and Instagram bio read Act 1 Renaissance, and an accompanying British Vogue spread and cover story teased a thrilling abundance of new music. As the record-breaking Renaissance World Tour finishes out the last of its 10 remaining announced shows, fans are wondering what's next from the superstar, who recently became the most awarded artist in Grammy history, thanks to her 4 Renaissance wins. Coincidentally, shortly after Beyoncé shared a special birthday request that fans wear silver and chrome to the last month of the Renaissance World Tour, the official Destiny's Child website underwent a major transformation. Currently, the site displays the message, 25 years. New website coming soon, emblazoned across a clip from the girl group's memorable reunion at Beyoncé's 2013 Super Bowl halftime show. Naturally, the message prompted fans to wonder if Beyoncé could be subtly teasing a transition to Act 2, potentially some kind of Destiny's Child reunion project or tour. Article continues.
Yeah, I even got choked up. Sorry. It's you.
Alright, so to me, that in itself is really something to think about, because Beyonce herself cannot call a 25-year reunion or 25-year tour, because she hasn't been a solo artist 25 years yet. But 25 years ago does match up with the debut of Destiny's Child in their first album. So, yeah, their first album was 97 or 98. Yeah, excuse me for that. But it's more aligned with the 25-year anniversary of Destiny's Child as a group than Beyonce as a solo artist, because technically Beyonce's solo career didn't really start until 2003. And that would technically make it 20 years for her. But like 25 years for the group Destiny's Child makes a lot more sense. And furthermore, well, the ladies in the group, Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle, as of current. Kelly and Michelle featured the other two. Like, say, Michelle featured Kelly and Beyonce on the song Say Yes. They featured on the song, I believe it was called You Changed. And then that was with Michelle. I'm sorry, that was with Kelly. And then Michelle featured Kelly and Beyonce on the song Say Yes. But Beyonce hasn't done that yet. Not to say she won't, just saying she hasn't as of yet. So it makes sense for actually what Renaissance Act 2 or 3, who knows? But it makes sense for Beyonce to do it now. It's like, alright, it's her turn. Kelly and Michelle already did it. So that's what I have.
Technically, that would be, you talking about that makes me say that that would be interesting to make it an act 3 to like bring everything full circle. Like the act 3, the closing is to represent where I started, where it all began. Layla Hathaway had an album called Where It All Began. Where it all began, and call it Girls Time, I don't know. But
that would be going way back.
Yeah, and as far as the face that I made when you were talking about Beyonce having a 25-year solo reunion, I sort of made that face because I remember back in the days of Destiny's Child when Beyonce was like, I am working my butt off now so I can retire at 30. A decade later, possibly. And it's not like I want Beyonce to retire because like I'm tired of her works, but it's just, I I know how hard work is, and maybe just find a place where she can coast and chill, and just because Beyonce is fabulous, absolutely. So as far as the Destiny Child reunion, I wasted all of that time at the beginning. As far as the Destiny's Child reunion, like Sunshine Anderson, initially I was like, heard it all before, and because people have been going back and forth about that for a long time. But this time I think it's a little different because Beyonce, in her Renaissance tour for her big birthday celebration on tour, she made it a point to say, yes, it's been 25 years. I would like to thank Kelly Rowland for being on this journey, or Kelly Rowland, Latoya Luckett, Latavia Robeson, Michelle Williams. Thank you all so much for taking part, having your parts in this journey. I love it. And the yeah, and maybe she was just thinking as a standard operation protocol, maybe, but maybe there's a little more to the thank you, and I'll save it for my 1 minute. Kevin.
All right. for, well, I guess my 1 minute.
Yep.
As a very, very, very avid Destiny's Child fan, I'm looking forward to it, assuming it happens. The reunion, as far as I know, as of now, I think they're all cool. At least I know Latoya is. I can't speak on Latavia, but I think she is. And that's what I've.
So this weekend, I'm driving with an Uber woman. You know, I always talk with my Uber drivers, and we were talking about the potential reunion and Beyonce in general. And she was like, I am not in the Beehive. Thank you. I'm not. I am not. And I told her, I was like, well, I'm a same gender loving gay man. So while I am not in the Beehive, I must love Beyonce. And I do love Beyonce. Beyonce is exceptional, period. And I was like, I must love Beyonce, and I do. And we accepted that we agreed on accepting the fact that Beyonce is exceptionally talented. She is, even though even though the Uber driver wasn't in the Beehive, she agreed with me like, yes, Beyonce is exceptionally talented. And she also said that she would love a DC5 reunion, which would be so cool. And that, yeah, I feel that would be a fabulous addition to the trilogy for Beyonce, you know? And like I said, with what you just mentioned, that got me thinking like maybe that should be like the part 3 and just building up our hopes for part 2. But I don't know. But whatever, you know, like I think it would be super amazing no matter what. Beyonce is exceptional. Kelly Rowland's exceptional. Michelle Williams is exceptional. LaToya Luckett's exceptional. Latavia Robeson, she was actually my favorite back in the day of Destiny's Child. I used to have a gay boy crush on her. I thought she was absolutely beautiful. And I love the fact she was the contralto of the group. And anyway, but yes, I love that. I thought that was super cool because I was like, hey, I'm a deep voice person as well in the choir. You know, I sing bass. Anyway, but my one sentence is I would imagine that the members would need work to get up to the level to be on such a tour for like those who are like, they're going to be added to the tour. I imagine that they would require some work to get on the level to tour, but some more than others. I'll leave it at that. I'll say some more than others because I love all of them. Again, DC5, I'm a millennial, so, you know, they've been prompting us with a DC5 reunion for, I almost said decades, but for many years. Have they not, Kevin?
They have.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So I would love that reunion. I love them all. And I would stand for that reunion. I only stand for Whitney Houston. And I'm kind of just kidding about saying I would stand for that reunion, but I only stand for Whitney Houston. Nevertheless, I would be really into that reunion. And I too Might sell pictures of my toes to get anyway. Oh my gosh. I was gonna totally go on a totally long tangent there, but I will zip it and keep going. Yes, I feel my conclusion for the one sentence is I feel the reunion would be a great gift to us older millennials, us geriatric millennials. We would appreciate that because we've been wanting it for so long. Anyway, that would be super cool. The hashtag VerseTV family, yes or no question, 227A would be, would you get tickets for Renaissance Part 2 right away if it was a DC5 reunion?
Oh, definitely.
See, like you pick where you're gonna say yes or no. But yes, see, as a fellow millennial, older millennial, for us that goes without saying. We must, particularly as an older gay millennial. I think straights would also be in the house, but us older gay millennials, yes, absolutely. Anyway, basic complexity. Are you ready for Hey Shorty? Which is part B, but it's just gonna be. We've already discussed this before the show, so we know it's gonna be a video, but our answers are gonna be very short, and then we're gonna move right into C.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. And
Hashtag Hey Shorty 227 at Rabbi Josh Livingstone. Hashtag VerseTV 227B.
Don't make this mistake when you offer a critique, okay? Don't offer your critique as a statement about objective reality. For example, don't say to somebody, you're driving like a maniac, please slow down, okay? That's not going to usually go very well because it's going to be, yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is offer a critique or a comment framed by your subjective experience of the event. So you could say something like this. You could say, you know what? It makes me a bit nervous when you go this quickly on the highway. Would you mind doing me a favor and slowing down? Now, what you've done when you do that is you change the whole framework from it being a critique of that person and them having to deal with the emotions of that to a request made by somebody that they care about to help them, okay? A person is much more likely to respond to a request made by somebody that they love and care about than they are to being beaten into doing it through a critique of them, okay? So switch it from a statement about objective reality to your subjective experience, and people will respond much more positively.
yes, if they care about you, your concern will at least somewhat be theirs too. Is complexity?
Basically, I understand his point. I fully get it, but it doesn't always work out that way.
All right. And now we are on to
You
you know
know
what?
what?
It's good that messed up like that because I didn't notice Quincy Keith has commented and he said that part a thank you.
Well,
Well,
thank
you,
you,
Quincy Keith.
Keith.
Yes.
And
I will
turn
turn
off
off
and
and
remove
remove And we will go into
Videos passe at Damian Keys 1, hashtag VerseTV227C.
Trade in the music video because the music video is dead. Look, I know people are going to hate this because of tradition, but bear with me, right? Let's say you go and spend your time and money on making a really cool music video. What are you going to do with it? You're going to put it on MTV? You're going to put it on VH1? Are you going to go and put it on Top of the Pops, which ended in 2006 when Snow Patrol killed it off with chasing cars? So therefore, the answer becomes YouTube. Well, I'll put it on YouTube. Great. You're going to put it on YouTube, but YouTube isn't pushing it out. So what are you going to do? Well, I have to put some money into it. You are now paying people to watch your music video. But there is a better way. The solution right now is using that time and budget not to make one music video, but to spend that 4 or 8 hours shooting enough content to make 1, 2, or 3 months worth of social media content, which will get seen by new people.
all right. He's right. And I will say a friend of mine told me like a year ago, a year and a half ago, or whatever, that exact thing. He said that exact thing, and it was difficult for me to receive that, particularly being, again, a geriatric millennial, an older millennial, because the music video was like a huge part of our childhood. You know, come rushing home from school to check out TRL or watch, I almost said 50 Shades of Black, 106 in Park, you know, rush, and just those sort of things. Like, we grew up on that. So to hear that the music video is dead, that was tough to receive, but both of them are right. And I think I hadn't thought about music videos as like a tool of promotion for the artist. I was just like, oh, it's this cool creative thing that's just out here always. But being a tool of promotion for an artist, it makes sense because, one, artistically, even good artists, even great artists nowadays, it's like when it comes to the music video, everybody's doing the exact thing. It's the same scenarios. Like, even when somebody does something revolutionary, it's because they're copying something old and putting themselves in it. So it's like, hey, I'm recycling this new thing, or I'm recycling this old thing, so now it looks new because I'm in it. Yay. You know, so I get that. And also, as far as him saying creating social media content, yes, nowadays, reality TV shows are king and queen, or queen and king, or gender non-binary leader, period. You know, and people do like seeing alternative realities, you know, alternatives to their own reality. And just like us, you know, hashtag VerseTV and all the other podcasting brothers and sisters out there, you know, presenting honest, you know, life experience. People, that stuff, that there's an audience for that. And that's why, instead of doing the music video, putting that into some sort of social content is actually cool. You know, and I'm not saying do a podcast. I'm not saying do stuff like that. I'm just saying, you know, like, you can be creative, just something different. Basic complexity?
Yeah, well, all right, let me first say, yes, it's unfortunate, but yet music videos are probably on the way out. And really, really with us, I want to say it was at some point in the 90s, music videos got a huge shakeup when Michael Jackson came out with the song Scream with Janet Jackson. The music video for that song was just on a whole different level. And that was just, I don't think that's ever been replicated like it was then. Because there was a huge rollout. Now, like I said, honestly, I think it's sad, but on I'm sorry, but unfortunately, it's true at the same time. Yeah, music videos they had their run, but it's kind of on the way out. That's what I've.
And from my one squared, I will first agree with you. And it's unfortunate, but yes, and like he said, ah, it almost felt like he was shading our MTV and VH1 and Top of the Pops. Like, that's for old people, you know, and he might have been a fellow millennial just like us. I don't know, because I saw a little bit of gray up there, because us geriatric millennials have a little bit of gray now, you know, darn right. Shoot. And it's like, it is what it is, whatever. And also, I did want to say, as far as reality shows being the thing, I remember in my old singing group, when we first were starting, like I was like, oh, this reality TV show thing is taking off. What we should do is make a reality TV show of making of the group and what we're going through in our process and just put it on YouTube. And if we did that, we probably would have made it. Because there's a time in YouTube that anybody who did whatever, if you did it consistently, you would make it. And that's how it was back in the day. Whatever you did, if you were consistent, you made it. You were a star. And it's anyway. I just didn't get it though at that time. Like I had my channels and stuff, but I was like, I don't know about this YouTube thing. I guess I can do it from time to time just for kicks. Anyway, but whatever. My one sentence is, I feel his point was wise, but, and the big wigs today are not eager to back non-proven winners. So they will keep recycling the same old winners until people stop supporting the old stuff being recycled at us. But because the big wigs at the record companies, quite frankly, want to keep things, they want guaranteed wins, they'll just keep recycling the same old thing.
Right.
Basic complexity. Oh, wait a minute. No, You're one square. Wow.
All right. Yeah. All right. So basically, in general, and I hope we're all aware of this, that times change and we gotta kind of change along with it, because yeah, it's not gonna work for you staying in the exact same place doing the exact same thing for the next, I don't know, 15, 20 years. You're gonna be forgotten, thrown to the back of the bus. Yeah. I know how that sounded.
It's what's funny is it did sound awful, horribly, and it's like when you said it, I was like, everybody makes a joke about that. People just don't know stuff. But the fact that you acknowledged it, it's like, yeah, like anything can be a joke. It's like, okay,
True.
but whatever. I'm glad you caught yourself, kinda, I guess. I don't know. The hashtag VerseTV family yes or no question is, do you think that indie artists presenting their own free-form visual art will lead to networks presenting more indie artists' non-traditional works? All right. And part D, which is D is 2 videos. Don't let me forget. All right. Are you ready for part D?
All right.
Hashtag new attitude at _individualist hashtag VerseTV227D.
Let me tell you something. Dating in your 40s has a totally different standard than it did than when you were in your 20s and in your 30s. My expectations are higher, my patience is lower, and my hormones are out of control. And I don't have time for the bullshit. I mean, I just turned 42, and the first sign of a red flag, and I'm out. So these are just a few things that I expect at my age of 42 while gay and dating. If we exchange phone numbers, yeah, I like a lot of communication, like go overboard. I want a good morning text and a phone call, a good afternoon text and a phone call, and a long drawn-out conversation at night before we go to bed. I don't mind falling asleep on the phone. And one of my love languages is definitely quality time. Yeah, I want to spend a lot of time with you, go on a lot of dates and get to know each other. A vacation on the first date is completely fine with me. Also, if I want to spend time with you and you want to spend time with your friends, that's going to be a no-go, because if you've had these friends your entire life, they can wait. At my age, I'm not only looking for a husband, I want a best friend and a business partner, because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So I don't mind you asking me what my credit score is. I mean, I'm going to tell you, it ain't the best right now, but we're going to get it right together. And finally, don't be alarmed when I say I want to be married anywhere from 3 months to a year, and I want kids. I mean, time is ticking. What's up? And if you are into older men, understand that dating older men comes with older men responsibilities, and I ain't nobody's sugar daddy. And though I'm middle-aged, I like active men. We're not going to lay around, eat bread, and get fat and sassy. So now, you tell me, what are you looking for at your age?
Can't believe we're older men now.
Hashtag addition D at women mentors hashtag VerseTV227D.
Have you got the nerve to stand there and expect me to believe that you don't want to marry my son for his money?
It's true.
Then what do you want to marry him for?
I want to marry him for your money.
There. Oh, Lorelei.
Don't you see that's why we have to have his consent, silly?
Well, at least we're getting down to brass tacks. You admit that all you're after is money.
No, I don't. Aren't you funny? Don't you know that a man being rich is like a girl being pretty? You might not marry a girl just because she's pretty. But my goodness, doesn't it help? And if you had a daughter, wouldn't you rather she didn't marry a poor man?
But I was...
You'd want her to have the most wonderful things in the world and to be very happy. Oh, why is it wrong for me to want those things?
Well, I concede that... Say, they told me you were stupid. You don't sound stupid to me.
I can be smart when it's important.
She said, I can be smart when it's important. And then it cut off. It's complexity.
Well, first off, at least speaking on the second video, that was hilarious. And I believe I will always love Marilyn Monroe. But yeah, alright, so going back to the first one, I would say that I agree and disagree with them at the same on some things. Then first off, I'm like 2 or 3 years younger than him, but I'm sorry, 2 or 3 years younger than him, and I highly doubt I would marry someone after like 3 months because I don't really know you at that point. And that's just my personal opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Look at it however you think it fits. But just me, I'm not marrying someone after dating for 3 months. That's what I've...
All right. I wanted to throw this in right quick with you saying that you wouldn't marry somebody after 3 months. And I think this sort of connects to the video, both videos, because yeah, I'm not like crazy rush. I don't think. I don't think that one size fits all when it comes to that time thing.
Good point.
I think everybody's different. And if he... I don't like rushing to things because of an age time frame. But I get it. He's like, I'm 42 and we can do that now. And being a fellow early 80s baby, that was not legal for our entire 20s, actually, that wasn't legal in our 20s at all. No. Because it wasn't until our early 30s that it was legal, but we're able to do it, and we're doing it now. Yes, right on LGBT love, marriage equality, all of that. Yes, we can. Yes, we are now. And that's why if you feel that you've connected with somebody on that level early on, I don't see it as a problem. Anyway, I enjoyed a lot of what he had to say. Him talking about not having a lot of patience and being gone at the first red flag reminded me of the book that I've read called Queer Love in Color by Jamal Jordan talking about, and one of the older gay couples, married couple, because we can marry now. Yes, we can do that now. One of the older gay couples was talking about how it's difficult for older people to find their match because, and he used this word, he said, often by the time you're older, people are much more set in their ways and more grumpy. In other words, less flexible. So I think it is important to also remember that, keep that in mind. I'm totally down with him on the kids thing, the 3-month thing. Can 3 months to a year. I think if it can work, great. If you're with somebody you've got, great. Ooh. And I'm going to talk about Kevin Samuels, and then I'm going to finish it on Kevin Samuels. But Kevin Samuels talks about marriage, and marriage is not a partnership. And that's because he's coming from a more traditional standpoint. Basic complexity, you're 1 squared.
Yeah, basically it's that everyone is different on some level. So you have to like critically think about future moves you make when it comes to relationships, marriage, whatever. And that's it.
Oh, right. And I will go back to Kevin Samuels. Yeah, I love watching Kevin Samuels. He is a hetero man offering advice predominantly to hetero women, sometimes hetero men. It's my understanding he actually started off his channel doing it to hetero men, but then he got much more views for the women, so it sort of shifted that way. And I get it, that's cool. And I like receiving his advice because the way that I receive the advice is I receive it as him giving advice to people who want a man. So for me, it's like, yes, you're talking to a woman, but you're talking to people who want a man. So I'm like, yes, tell me. And he had this one woman on, also as far as the partner thing, yes, because he being a little more traditional, it's like he sees it as a hierarchy. You're not equal partners. There's a hierarchy in marriage. So it's like, okay, believe what you want. And I promise, please let me take a few extra seconds to do this because I have been practicing it so long. But I remember I was watching Kevin Samuels' show, and he was talking to this one woman, a fellow geriatric millennial, trying to find her man. And she was in her late 30s at the time. Now, you know, that means it was a few years ago. So she's like 39, 40 at this point. And she was saying something to him, and his response to her was like, well, now, you know, that means you can't, that means no watching porn. And it just felt like he just made her out to be so dirty. And all he said was that means no watching porn. But for a man to tell a woman no watching porn, it felt like he said to her, and for you, Missy, that means no lonely, sorrowful nights sitting at home alone, masturbating, watching porn. And all he said was no watching porn. But it felt like it was much more. Anyway, and Kevin Samuels is outstanding. And as people always say when they talk about him, rest in peace, because, you know, he offered a lot that helped a lot of people. even me, a gay man, like, and it's not that he said, hey, I'm saying this for gay men like Aaron. Absolutely not, but I receive a lot of, like I said, what he said, the advice that he gave as advice for people looking to get a man. And I think it even helped me. Let me stop. Whatever. Oh my gosh. But my one sentence is, I call out going back to the videos. I call out the concerns also as I see them for myself. And like the Frank Ocean song, we all try. Mm-hmm. And it's a different context, but we all try. We're all just trying to make it. The hashtag VerseTV family, yes or no question. If you had the money, would you be a sugar daddy, or like the Beyonce song, a sugar sugar mama? Anyway, all right. Are you ready for topic E? I was about to be like, all right, let's close out. No, we have to do topic E. Are you ready for the, what is topic E is the Cerebral TV 227. Are you ready, Kevin?
Yep. When
we come back, we'll close out.
Hashtag Cerebral TV 227 at Kev on Stage, at Bama2Dads, at Ryan Long Comedy, hashtag VerseTV 227E.
There's nothing you can say on the internet that somebody can't make negative, and there's also nothing you can say on the internet that somebody can then put words in your mouth and say something you did not say. For example, this lady posted this reel, and she said, ignoring everyone who says it better be a boy this time and just praying for a healthy baby, which is, gender reveal, this and that. I just want a healthy baby. Somebody responded and said, mom of an unhealthy kid here to say that those babies are equally valuable and worthy of love. She didn't say they weren't. She didn't say that unhealthy kids aren't, worthy of love. All she said is, I'm praying for a healthy baby. Somebody else said, whatever healthy means, if it's not healthy, then your prayers won't be answered. How is ableism different from being sex selective? So you can't pray for a healthy baby no more? You can't wish for health? You can't even want health? You can't wish for it? So she said to the first lady, sending you guys so much love. And another person responded, not sure what you mean by sending her love when you just insulted her child for not being healthy. But she didn't, though. She didn't insult her child for not being healthy. All she said is, I'm praying for a healthy baby for myself. And you done told her that she won't love an unhealthy baby. You done said she insulted a woman's baby that she don't know. We don't need the internet. We definitely don't need comments, because people will say you said anything. One time, Mel Mitch tweeted, food be good. Food be so good. And somebody responded, not all. But yeah, though. What did that add to our society? It's assumed you talking about the food you like be good. Why would you? When Beyonce and Al Gore conspired to make the internet, did they think it would end up like this? Because I've had it. You just can't say nothing.
Text Floridian Goose and Gander.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you've heard what the alphabet people are doing to the state of Florida right now.
Yeah.
And you think it's okay to affect their money like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, their governor is an idiot, and he started making laws that he thought would boost him up. But he didn't realize that the people he was making the laws against have the ability to fight back. So now people are not coming to his state. They're not using them for their meetings and their festivals and all that kind of stuff. So I think so far just this season he's lost over $2 million, something along those lines.
And you think that's okay?
Oh, absolutely. You see, when you come for us, we come for you. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Have a blessed day.
Text Boomer Real Estate Tutorial.
You hear a lot of millennials griping about how difficult it is to buy a home right now.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize is that real estate's all about finding the right time to buy, which in my instance was 30 years ago.
People always ask me, Bill, how'd you time the market so perfectly? And for me, I knew the exact time to buy was when I turned 27, just got married in 1990. I was working at the GM plant at the time, put down $18K on a $90K property, and that is now worth $600K.
You know, and so instead of buying avocado toast, I went ahead and looked at the landscape and then was purposely born 30 years prior to that into a generation that had a much better wealth creation engine.
It's about timing your birth as much as it is about timing the market. You might have also noticed the price of college degrees going up at a time when more employers are requiring those college degrees, which is precisely the reason I chose to not be born in that era and carry that debt. But you'll notice a lot of millennials are too lazy to do that, and they just end up being born when they're born.
That's a huge mistake.
Yep.
And look, you need to have the discipline to make sure that your generation encourages government policy to drive the prices up to increase your wealth while suppressing the wealth of the next generation.
That's another thing I use my market timing abilities to avoid being on the receiving end of. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy that made $500K on a single real estate deal. Haven't done it again since, one and done, retiring with the perfect record.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I as well am batting 1,000 with the one primary residence I purchased.
That is funny. I love all three of those. Now, I know that's cerebral TV, so I'm shutting up. All right, hashtag Verse TV family. Oh, wait a minute. We have enough time to go into these songs right quick.
All right.
Now, you mentioned Whitney Houston's I Was Made to Love Her. And I'm proud of you for also acknowledging that, yes, that was her and Lauryn Hill on that song. And being that you're so far ahead with acknowledging all of that, can you name the duet that Stevie Wonder and Whitney Houston did together on Whitney Houston album?
All right. Yeah, with that one, you got me.
All right. It was on the album, and I'm mad that I asked you that question. It was on the album I'm Your Baby Tonight. And wow. Of course, the title is slipping my mind. And I love that album. That's actually one of my favorite Whitney Houston albums. I think it is my favorite Whitney Houston album, which is interesting because it was very much a departure from her prior two albums, you know? And then after I'm Your Baby Tonight came Bodyguard. And of course, that was also a shift in vocals, you know? So it's like, anyway, but yes, I Was Made to Love Her by Stevie Wonder. I guess,
Yeah, because she slightly changed the name of the song, and it was a minor change.
Well, of course she did. I Was Made to Love Him, but
Right.
Stevie Wonder was I Was Made to Love Her.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was very heavily sampled in that song.
That was sampled or was it a remake?
All right, that part I'm kind of confused on.
Yeah. I probably need to go back and listen myself. I'll also shout you out for calling out how CDs were so our generation. Yes, CDs are that thing. Just like albums, records, like the big disc, the big circles.
Yeah.
That was my mom's generation.
Yep.
And you know what? She never got rid of her records. She had them like I don't think she ever actually got rid of them. When she moved, I don't even need to talk about that. I'll leave it alone. She never formally got rid of her records. And I don't think I'll formally ever get rid of my CDs.
Oh, I know I'm not getting rid of mine.
I know, that's right. Yes, absolutely.
You know, I have a ton of them.
I know. You know, freshman year at Howard, I went home on the bus. And that was when I lived in New Orleans. So it was a like 2-day bus drive or whatever. Or it was a 24-hour bus ride. And it required transferring. And in transferring, they lost my bags.
Wow.
And in order to verify that it was my bag, to give it back to me, the people who worked wherever had to go through my bags. And they went through my bags to verify it was mine and took what they wanted. And it just so happened that at that time, I had my entire CD collection in one of those folders.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And they were like, oh, I'll take this. Because not only did I have my entire CD collection in the folder, I also had the album art there. It wasn't just the little CDs. It was the album art.
Mm.
And they were like, yeah, I want this. And it was work that I recorded in the recording studio in high school that I volunteered at in New Orleans.
Mm.
And I had one of the indie artists who is about I think she is a fellow 83 baby.
Yeah.
Who was working on a project at the studio, and I had her album. All of that just gone. But I guess it's making somebody else happy. I don't know. Anyway, so this has been, unless you had something else to say?
No.
This has been week 227. There's no place like home, with your family around you, you're never alone. You know, that was Marla Gibbs. I believe that was Marla Gibbs. I tried looking it up, and it didn't give me a straight up answer, but I'm pretty sure that was Marla Gibbs.
Yeah, and
so
fairly certain I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, so week 227, 227. I'm Aaron Mack. I'm here with my good friend Kevin, aka CBC. Basic Complexity. No, that's the intro. I'm Aaron Mack. You can find me Aaron Mack, AARONMCK at BERSTEAB.com. Aaron Mack at VerseTV.com. And you can also find Verse TV all over the social media landscape, the social media scape, at hashtag VERSTEAB or at BERSTEAB. We are all over, child. Anyway, let me stop. But yeah, we are all over social media. Just check us out. Say hi. We'll say hi to you too. All right. Base Complexity.
All right. This should be interesting. Yeah, I am Kevin, also known as Basic Complexity. All right, so you could find me first off on Instagram, and I'm saying this and making it as simple as possible. So take two words, basic, starting with the capital B, ASIC. Then merge that with complexity, and that's capital COMPLEXITY. And there is my name on Instagram. Then with the email, and we type the same way, basic complexity at VERSTEAV.com. And Leslie, and I don't know how, but somebody already used the name basic complexity, so I couldn't quite use it. At the slightly change it on TikTok. So with TikTok, it's my basic complexity. So the way I spelled out basic complexity, then you could put capital M and lowercase y right in front of it. Merge all of them together, no spaces. And that's what I have for TikTok. And that's everything I got.
All right, hashtag Verse TV family. This has been week 227, and we will see you all next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Talk to you later. See you. And yes, hashtag VerseTV.com. Yep. Peace. Hashtag VerseTV.com. Yes, Kevin. Yes, you got a point. Hashtag VerseTV.com. Stay blessed. You know, this is a joke every single week. Talking about South Park, where they had the person who would wear that shirt talking about I'm with stupid, and they are pushed to the side where nobody's there. It's the same thing. I'm like, Kevin, anyway. And that's like, hashtag Verse TV. Anyway. Talk to you later, family. We'll see you all next time. Peace. VerseTV.com. Stay blessed. All right. Yes.